Chris Hansen here, and I'm going to need you all to take a seat right over there and check out Birds versus Boys.
I think you're completely right here, and I hate it.
Yep. Hey, idiots. Stop doing dumb things. I got 2 phones.
Upset alert. Upset alert.
I might go insane.
I think you're already there. There's no hope. Hope is gone.
If this was an AFC North podcast, we'd be done in 15 minutes.
Bob Hope.
I'm going to drink bleach.
That is
the team you promised me you were going to be this year.
This is the Consciously Hopeful podcast.
I'll be watching.
We now welcome on the show one of our best friends of Birds vs. Boys. We had to bring him on for Birds vs. Boys week. He's one of the biggest names in Cowboys Nation. He might have actually coined the term Cowboys Nation. Mike Tagg, great to see you. Welcome back.
What is up, man? Well, first of all, Cowboys Nation, we had to deliver a message because I get more hate from Raider fans. They tell me there's only one nation, it's Raider Nation, and then we slapped them around. I said, we just took over that. So I want to hear no more about Raider Nation. It's Cowboys Nation. That's the way it is. But definitely love being on the show, man. You're one of my favorites. I tell people, I don't like the Eagles, but the weird thing is I have more Eagles fans than I do any other team. So it's hard to hate on them, but it's easy to hate on them too. You know what I'm saying? So.
You know what's funny? You've been on multiple times, and I have multiple Eagles fans text me after you're on a show, and they're like, obviously I hate the Cowboys, but I like that guy. Like, I really like that guy. So it's awesome. Well, big game this week. I think both of our teams are in really interesting spots. So I'll have to just start with an admission of guilt. I'm a little worried. I'm very worried about this game.
Well, it's so interesting because I was telling you the story, man. Yeah, I love my Cowboys, and the season just has not gone the way we've expected, and I got a lot of money on them being over. So I'm really trying to get to that 8 wins. Desperately, I'm trying to get to that 8 wins, but. I was at the Arizona game, and I'm not an all-in, must-win, this is it. But I was just in my mind, we do not win this game, we are in trouble. And then I'm going to that game on Monday night, and it was just so embarrassing to sit there that I was telling you the story. My wife and I were there, and we had plans to go to the Minnesota game. We stayed at a nice hotel in Frisco at the Omni where the players are staying. Got the flight and all that. And during the game, I say, all right, cancel the flight. Cancel the hotel. Tickets go on StubHub. I am not coming back to watch this debacle of a defense. And then, you get the bye week, and obviously the tragedy with Nealon and everything that went with it. And maybe that kind of got this team galvanized, got them together. They made those trades. You get the health back. And this is what we all thought after the bye. That's why it was so important to win that game. And it's the Raiders. Let's be honest. I mean, I'm not gonna kid myself, but they played just totally different, and they were all over. So it gave you hope. And now going into Philly, going into that game, and we got a tough stretch. It makes you feel pretty good. I'm feeling pretty good about this game. Before I didn't want to talk about it, but now I'm feeling pretty good, man. Let's get this party started.
It is so funny. Like you said, a few weeks ago, you're watching that Cardinals game, and I have YouTube TV, so I couldn't even watch the game. So it's one of those games where people are like, you didn't miss anything. It was so bad that you're like, oh, I didn't even miss it. And if you flash forward 3 weeks, the Cowboys feel, to an extent, somewhat back in this thing. And you have to feel good about where the team is, like you said, healthier, made the acquisition of Quinnen Williams, and they just feel like they had a different energy. I know there's an asterisk because it was the Raiders. But like you said, man, it wasn't like there was it wasn't like the Eagles where it was 16-9. Like, they just blew the doors off the Raiders and took care of business. It felt like they had a different energy that night.
Definitely different energy. And I got to remind the Eagles fans, because I don't know about you, when you do Birds versus Boys, so you always get a mix. I always have some Eagle fans, for whatever reason, they come watch my show. Now, maybe it's me, and if it's me, I love it. I appreciate it. But I've never, except for your show, there's really no other shows that I watch that have any Eagle content, because I really don't care. But they're in there, and they're making fun of the Raiders. Hey, you beat a 2-win team. And I said, I said, yeah. I said, you should never lose to a 2-win team, right? I mean, you agree with me, right? And the guy, yeah. I said, you got your ass whipped by the Giants. What are we talking about here? Then they didn't want to say nothing else, but I don't know. They fell into that one. But it's the NFL. Any given Sunday, you've seen it with this season. It's like games that you don't think are going to happen. Then they end up, you get this team to lose it. It's just been a wild NFL season, man.
It really puts it into perspective how long a season is, because I feel like I had an Eagles content creator on a few weeks ago, and we were talking about how you almost can break the season up into its own like quarters. Like, you know how in like corporate world they're always talking about, oh, we got to finish strong this quarter. You don't always do that in the NFL. Like, the Eagles last year, first 4 games, they're 2-2. October, they start to come around. They were a different team December, January, February. So you kind of have to split it. It feels like now as we hit Thanksgiving, it's a different quarter, especially a different quarter for the Cowboys. Tough stretch. Where's your confidence level, I guess, heading into this stretch? Because I know better than the Raiders, but still, you got to have confidence in the team at least.
For the Cowboys to even have any prayer, they got to win. They have to win 2 of their next 3. So you got, within this 11-day stretch, I mean, you got the Eagles, you got the Chiefs, and you got the Lions. And the Chiefs aren't the Chiefs, but the Chiefs are the Chiefs, and you don't want to play the Chiefs, and you don't want to play Mahomes, and they're desperate. Like, when they're losing now, they're desperate. And the Lions, I mean, God, the Bears are in first place, so the Lions are fighting. It's not like they're cruising to a division championship. And the Eagles are, the Eagles just keep they're like a cockroach. You can't get. They just keep winning as they keep showing up. You smack them and they keep running. They smack them and they keep running at you. I don't know what it is, but if Dallas has to win 2 or 3, so I think it's Eagles and Chiefs and lose to the Lions on the road. However way they do it, they have got to win 2 or 3 to have any even just prayer or hope of making the playoffs.
A few things. The description of the Chiefs is so perfect, where you said they're not the Chiefs, but they're the Chiefs. And I feel like everyone who plays them feels that way. Even in week 2, after they lost in Brazil to LA, we were thinking, they don't look like the Chiefs, but damn, we still got to play the Chiefs. And you guys are kind of in that position next week. And then you use the cockroach analogy. I used that this week to talk about you guys. You guys were selling StubHub tickets. I don't want to go to the game. This is a rebuilding year. I'm throwing my hands up. Now I got Jay Tuck on my social media talking about, oh, the Eagles are wearing Kelly green because it's a big matchup. Like, I can't get rid of you guys. You guys came right back.
Wait, our content creators came back. What do you mean all our content creators? They were posting. There are no more Cowboys. They're doing sports. And now they're all back on the train. They're doing the big shows. So they're all back. Tuck's back. DMB's back. They're all back. I love all those guys, but everyone is back on the train. One thing I want to ask you off subject, I apologize, but my brother's a big Broncos fan, and you're a sports guy, so I just got to get your opinion, because him and I were fighting about it at lunch today. And the Chiefs are playing the Colts, and my brother's like, I want the Chiefs to win because to get ahead of the Colts. I'm like, you do not want the Chiefs to win. You want them as far away from the playoffs as possible. Why would you want the Chiefs to win? And I told myself, I'm going to remind you of this come week 17 when the Chiefs end up, winning that division or doing something. And I'm going to say, did you really wanted the Chiefs to win? I mean, what would you think on that? You don't want no part of them if you're them, right?
I don't think so. I think you want them, like you said, you don't want them to even sniff the playoffs, because you could have a memorable storybook season like the Broncos or the Colts, and then you show up as a 2 seed. You did everything right, and the Chiefs are waiting as a 7 seed. You really want to play Mahomes in the first round of a playoff? Absolutely not. And from a Cowboys perspective next week, I kind of want them to lose this week, because most times you say, well, if they lose, they're going to be extra desperate next week. If they lose this week, I start to think they just wrap it up. Like, they've been playing a lot of football.
Yeah.
They realize they are not as talented as they were a few years ago. It feels like this is a gap year where they got to restructure this thing. If they lose this week, they might just be like, I'm accepting reality. If they win, then they start to build a little bit more momentum going into Dallas.
Yeah, no, I feel the same way. I'm always superstitious that way, so definitely. But yeah. So what's up with this game? We got a game. We got a rivalry. We got something cooking. We got the Cowboys. I broke out the last time Jalen Hurts and Dak Prescott met at AT&T. I was there, 33-13. We got the beat down. that we gave you guys. I mean, it's got some juice back in it, so I'm loving it. It's got some juice.
I love that. Listen, the NFL hit it right this year. I will say that about the rivalry. I'm so glad we were week 1. I'm glad that this game means something in prime time. It's been a while since it's mattered. I think the last time I was truly miserable watching the Eagles was probably that game in that stretch back in December of 2023. But it's good to be back. How do you feel right now, revamped defense? Like, do you think, because this feels like a stoppable force meets a movable object with our horrible offense, and your defense has struggled but has made some improvements, whether it be a health with DeMarvion Overshown or the acquisition of Quinnen Williams.
Yeah, I mean, with Revel back and
Revel too.
And you know, I just think the Cowboys took a page from the Eagles, because I was talking about this on my show. If you watch the Eagles, that interior defensive line just wrecks havoc, and they're badasses. There's make no mistake about it. You can't hate on it. And the Cowboys, I tweeted this out. It's like, never would I've ever thought that the words would come out of my mouth that our defensive tackles is the strongest position of our defense. I mean, that's always been the worst. It's always been the Achilles heel. So maybe that they looked at the Eagles and like, you know what? Look what the Eagles are doing. They're getting that defensive tackle pressure and the rush, wrecking havoc and owning that line of scrimmage. And look what it's doing. And so I think we took a page from the Eagles and just said, hey, man, we got to, you know, it's a copycat league. It's working for you guys. We got to get some strength up there. And I think it's going to make a huge difference. I'm just hoping it's not too little too late in the season, but I think you're going to see this defense improving week in and week out.
It's a lot of fun, right? Like having that upfront force. It's even better when, you know, like the quarterback of the opposing team doesn't spit in your general direction, then you spit back at them and get ejected from the game, and then you can actually play like Jalen Carter's about to this week. It's awesome having those forces on the field.
Well, he did spit at him. Dak Prescott spit to the ground, and Jalen Carter spit at him. I mean, that was he suckered him into that one. Jalen Carter fell for that, and it's just like some of these guys, they fall for that personal foul or, you know, the penalty after the play, and hopefully we don't see a lot of that. Keep it a clean game. The Cowboys penalties amazingly were down against the Raiders, so hopefully we're going to see a good. The refs don't. I don't want the refs decide no games. I don't want BS taunting when it's, you know, this is football. Let these guys play. That. It's a game of emotion. That they're going to be hype. We're going to be hype, and just let's settle it on the field, man. Let's get this thing going.
I honestly think it will be chippy. I think these are two teams, again, like desperate in different circumstances, right? Like we're trying to hold on to that one seed. You guys are trying to make the playoffs, but our offense is trying to prove something, and we just don't have that bite that we did a year ago. I'll get into all that, the offensive miscues, but it doesn't feel like we have that dominance up front. When you got two desperate teams trying to assert dominance, it gets a little chippy, and I think it could be a little chippy on Sunday. Oh,
definitely. The pressure's on Dallas. When Dallas wins, I think the pressure might shift. And if you remember that one year, and I think it was 2018, was it, when we were 3-5, and then we got Cooper, and then you guys kind of collapsed, and we kind of surged. I mean, it could happen. I mean, you guys are teetering on the edge. I'm telling you, you're teetering on the edge.
This is the problem. We have PTSD because every time we go to the Super Bowl the next year, we play good for like half the year and then collapse. And I know in 2018 we ended up catching back up and making the playoffs, but it feels like every year after the Super Bowl, we go through these ruts where everybody just looks physically and mentally exhausted. And it certainly feels like certain members of this offense are physically and mentally and emotionally exhausted being on this team.
Yeah, no. It's I don't know if you saw. I'm sure you're going to get into like AJ Brown. I was watching some of his comments. Even, you know, they were all over social media. The comments about Barkley and then comments of, you know, that he did. So, how you guys feeling about that situation?
It's crazy, and you and I were kind of texting back and forth about it. But he's a guy who had 100% approval rating. Everybody was on his side. He is right. Everything that he spoke about was true. The offense flows better when they flow the offense through him. They'll be able to contribute more to winning if they get the offense on track. He's correct that they can't always rely on the defense to bail them out. But the way he's gone about it, like, to me, in that Lions game, if I said all that stuff and then they're force feeding me the ball, I don't know. I'd probably run routes. Like, I'd run hard to prove my point, right? Like, it feels like you can't satisfy him. So even though he was right to begin with, people are starting to sour on it because of how he's gone about it, where his point was proven and then he's put no action behind the words since then.
Yeah. And it's funny because in the beginning of the season, I know maybe you did, but I know there's a portion of the fan base that doesn't like the Cowboys that when George Pickens came, they said, all right, here we go. It's going to bad move. He's a bad locker room guy. And he has been nothing but a model citizen, gamble a little bit, got a little bit of trouble. Go to, but you're going to go to Vegas. That's why you don't put NFL teams in Vegas. What do you expect? I mean, what do you expect is going to happen? But he has been just model and such a difference maker to this offense. The thing I don't understand about Brown is obviously he's a great talent. I don't know why they're not throwing the ball more. I don't. You would know better than me, and you could probably explain why. It just makes no sense to me. They run a very tight offense, like a 1970s style offense. I don't know why. When you have the great receivers that you guys have, I mean, you self-tout them the best receiving duo in the NFL. I don't know if that's true or not, but you guys tout them as that. I mean, you'd think you'd be slinging it all over the field. So I don't understand, but you're winning. And to me, I'm old school. If you're winning, I mean, what are you upset about? You're winning.
Exactly. He's winning. The past week, he got 11 targets. So what more do you want in that situation? I'll rant about it real quick so you don't have to sit through it in terms of, like, what's wrong, why it flows the way it does, why they don't flow more. Because if you look at the route trees for these receivers, they are gross. It is just the same route again and again and again. There's no creativity within the offense. People want to see it go across the middle of the field. Run some crossers. Run some posts. Get guys in the middle of the field. Jalen and Hayden Winks of Underdog did a great breakdown of this, where he said Jalen Hurts is a good QB, but at no point has he ever wanted to go over the middle of the field and throw intermediate routes over the middle of the field. He just won't do it. And in response, it's almost like our offensive coaching staff has shut down, and they don't try. So that's how you get this just slop, where when they throw it, it's hitch route, hitch route, hitch route. Okay, we're throwing a deep ball. And really the only thing that works is they have two talented receivers, so they're never really scheming those two open. If they get them the ball on these hitch routes or on a go ball, it's simply because they beat their man. And then you don't get yards after the catch with two really good yards after the catch guys in Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown because there's no space. They're just making a play when the ball is in the air over a guy. So you get a lot of low percentage throws because the corners are keyed into what you're doing. And this year, it's amplified because the offensive line has not been as dominant. They've been banged up. There's guys in and out, so they can't run with Saquon Barkley as well. There's not guys' eyes in the backfield on Saquon as much. So all of those issues that I just named are amplified because you can't run the ball, and it's affecting them throwing the ball. So I'm sorry you had to sit through that rant, but I thought his breakdown was great. I thought it was the most nuanced like breakdown of why they are struggling the way they are. Because on the radio stations here, they play this blame game of who it could be. It's not a multiple choice question. It's open ended. It's all of the parts are not working.
Yeah, no, it blows my mind because they, all kidding aside, I mean, I like to rag on the Eagles, but they're talented. I mean, they got a lot of talent, and they should not be scoring. I was looking at what their points per game. I think they're like 19th or something like that, and their offense is 25th in the NFL. It just blows my mind. But I mean, the defense makes up for it, and that's a thing. But I don't know. To me, styles make fights, and I just think the Cowboys style. You even saw that in the first game. I mean, the receivers and Pickens really wasn't going yet. Now Dak's got a lot of confidence in him. It's going to be interesting to see that matchup between, your cornerbacks and our receivers and obviously the tight end and how our offense was able to move the ball against a very good defense. Carter wasn't there. That's a big miss, right? I get that. But it's going to be interesting to see. Booker is better. That was his first start as a rookie, so he's going to be better. Pickens is going to be better. So it's going to be interesting to see how that matchup is. And I think styles make fights. And I think Dallas's style might give just seems like it gives the Eagles a little bit of trouble on their defense, but we'll see.
I really think it does. And you talked about rookies and the young guys improving. I think that's one of the keys to the game. Like, we have a few rookies on our defense that have improved. Your offensive line's young, but also improved. This, to me, Pickens, our cornerback 2 situation has always been an Achilles heel this year, but it's been better lately. Now, does that hold when you're lined up against George Pickens or you're stuck with CeeDee Lamb? It's one thing when you're like Jamison Williams and Amon-Ra St. Brown are great, but mostly that was because you were getting a lot of pressure on Jared Goff. Does that continue to kind of help those guys out on the back end so they're not in a track meet with George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb all game?
Yeah, no. Now, the one thing you guys did do, I'm a Miami guy. You see the U, and you guys got my guy Phillips. I was hoping Dallas was gonna get him, but he's a great player, good pickup. I did not want to see him go to Philly, but yeah, no, that was good. It was good, and that's where I give you guys, your organization a lot of credit. Is they're always actively making trades. Now, some may work and some may not, but I never hate on trying. And I think hopefully Dallas and Jerry and the boys took a page out of your book, because they're a lot more active. They were a lot more active in recent time. Finally. Hopefully not too late, but yeah, finally. But it's going to be fun, man. It's going to be great. I'm seeing everything, the social media, it's building up. There's a lot of hatred going on. There's a lot of, I'm getting all these DMs and I'm getting all these comments from Eagle fans coming out of the woodwork. And I always say, man, the worst thing, they better hope. We better hope we don't win, because it's gonna be relentless. It's gonna be relentless.
Out of the woodwork. We're here. We won a Super Bowl in the calendar year. You guys quit on the team the day they traded Micah. You haven't even played a game yet. Quit on the team. Beat the Raiders. Now I gotta turn on the TV and hear about the next month is defining the legacy of Dak Prescott.
The legacy. What kind of legacy do you have in the regular season? You define your legacy in the playoffs. I don't understand.
Yeah.
I don't understand that. But that's ESPN, and that's why people hate the Cowboys so much, is because they're on. I was there in Arizona. We're talking about a 3-win Cowboy team going against a 2-win Arizona team, and you would have thought it was a Super Bowl. ESPN was there. First Take was live. You had the red carpet. Stephen A. Smith is interviewing and hanging out with Jerry Jones and Michael Irvin. He's supposed to hate the Cowboys, but we know it's all business, and I'm not going to hate on it. But the media just can't get enough of the Cowboys, so it makes other teams just hate. And they're like, oh, man, I got to hear about the Cowboys. Look, it ain't our fault, but we do bring ratings. I mean, 2 crappy teams on Monday night was one of the highest rated games of the season.
Crazy. And you brought it up, but I feel like that's probably where my hate for the Cowboys stems from. It's not the fans. It's the fact that as sports fans, we crave sports conversation. You turn on the TV, you got to hear about Cardinals, Cowboys, and you're saying to yourself, we're turning this into a spectacle. I feel like I'm watching Big 12 football right now instead of the NFL. And I think that's where the hatred for a lot of Eagles fans come in, because especially my generation, we haven't seen the Cowboys do a lot. Like, they just haven't been successful in my life. But yet it is every leading channel, like, sports topic. And you're like, why? And I think that's where it stems from for people like me.
It could, and it blows my mind. The Eagles, they've been so successful the last, decade, 2 decades, whatever it's been. I mean, they've definitely been successful. But yet, when they beat the Packers and they're doing their interviews, you hear we hate Dallas, and then they go to the NFC Championship and Dallas is on their mind, and they're playing a different game somewhere else, and the fans are talking about. It's like, I've never, and I'll be honest with you, I've been to a lot of Cowboy games. I've never heard any Cowboy fan during a game start chanting a team that's not even there. And I just, maybe that's part of what you're saying, the hatred because of the media, so it's always on their mind. But it just amazes me. The fan base is just, like I said, I got guys watching our show, and they're diehard Eagle fans, and they go in the chat and they say the same thing every single, every show is the same. It's the same punchlines, and it's this and that, and it's funny, and I laugh, and we all get a kick out of it. But I'm thinking to myself, why would you sit and listen to someone just talk about the Cowboys for an hour and a half? It would,
I honestly, it's funny that they even found you. How did you even get into their algorithm to find your show?
I don't know. They just, I find people. People find me. That's what I do. I'm entertaining. I bring a little joy to people's lives, and sometimes I bring misery, and they just love to. They think that if the Cowboys lose, I'm going to go in the dungeon and just start crying and not come out. They don't understand, man. It's a game. It's life. It's fun. I always tell people I have more fun pre-game hanging out.
Yeah.
The game is just I was telling my wife, it's like I'd rather just go to the game, and I don't even need to go in the stadium. I'd just rather go to a bar and watch the game, but just do all the tailgating and do all the festivities leading up to it, because that's really where the fun is at, man. Hanging out with the fans and just the passion. The Cowboy fans are passionate, man. I know the Eagles are too. The Eagles fans are too, and I think the whole NFC East is in general, but
Oh yeah,
Cowboy fans are passionate fans, but when we lose and when it's down, I mean, you feel it. I mean, we don't. The thing I would say about the Eagle fans, they're vicious. They want blood. They want someone's head. I'll never forget when Sirianni, after you won the Super Bowl and they had the rough stretch, they wanted him fired. They wanted Hurts gone. They wanted the whole team blown up, and then they win the Super Bowl the next year. Dallas fans are different. When things go bad, we just kind of it's like that Homer Simpson where you just kind of go in the bush. We just kind of hide. We just don't show up nowhere. No displeasure. I was at the game, and it was like we were tailgating, and it was just just friends. But I was like, we always do our Cowboys Cave tailgate party, and you need to make it one year. But I always do it at the beginning of the season, because I always tell people, if we suck and it's at the end of the year, it's only going to be me and a couple other people there. Ain't no one coming out to go tailgate with us. So it's a different fan base, and I think they're both passionate, but they handle adversity in different ways.
We handle it definitely in a different way than everybody else. We're 8-2. We got the best record in the league. We're the 1 seed, leading the division, the conference, and everybody's on the hot seat right now. It's It's a little
if they
different.
stumble against Dallas, I would. That's when I listed Philly radio. It is going to be the world's ending, and I'm thinking to myself,
I truly think that they will. I think they're going to struggle. If I hate doing this because I don't think I've ever predicted a loss, and I'm very confident with the rest of the schedule. But all the factors included, I'm worried. If we lost by 17 and we looked lifeless, I would not even be shocked, which I hate saying because I thought that earlier in the week. Now, I've almost come around where there's been so much negative Jalen Hurts talk this week that I think he comes out at this point and might just ball out. I feel like he might be so fed up with this, and he's such a even keel guy, so it's a little different with him. He doesn't get emotional like a fan hosting a podcast like me, but it's there, right? Like, this is the same dude who has the wallpaper where he lost the Super Bowl, and he keeps that as his wallpaper. I think he's wired a little crazy, and I know he's hearing all these stories about people being frustrated with him, and he's done it before. Like last year, he sat down at the podium, and he says, "So that's what you wanted to see?" When he was throwing the ball a little bit more. So it's there, and now I'm almost thinking he might just ball out. This might be a track meet.
Yeah, I mean, it could very well be. It wouldn't surprise me. And I think it's going to be a tight game. But I mean, honestly, as much as we all joke, I mean, and maybe Eagle fans don't admit it, but you go into the season and you do your win-loss and you check your boxes, and I mean, most often you say, you know what, we're going to split with Dallas. We'll sweep the Giants, and we'll take care of Washington. I said Washington was overrated last year. They're the Chicago Bears and the Washington team. What?
I wanted to bring this up because we had you on last year, and you said the Commanders are frauds. And we posted it on TikTok, and all their fans flooded, and they're like, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. He doesn't get it. And we beat them right after that. And then this offseason, I posted another TikTok about them. Like, be careful how you're building this team. Like, this is set up for failure. Don't build your team like this. This guy doesn't know what he's talking about. Like, he doesn't know ball. We were both right. Like, they are awful.
Now, they were better than I thought they were going to collapse, but they got every break. And it was funny. I was on a Washington radio show, and I went on this rant. And this guy called in afterwards, and because I told him to pump the brakes on getting their Super Bowl tickets. I said, ease up, And so he came on later. They brought me back, and the problem with me, my mouth gets me in trouble sometimes. But I will always, there's no check that I write that I won't cash. So I told him, I said, if they make it to the playoffs, I was just talking playoffs. I said, I will give you my seats to the game. And they're yours. My club seats to the game. And sure as shit, they did it. And he didn't know, I didn't know him. He didn't know me. But I went out and I called I messaged the radio guy. Said, hey, give me that dude's info. I said, I got some tickets for him. And he went out to the game. Now they got the beating. Now they got a good beating. So he came out to see a beating. So that was worth it. I tried to warn him that was going to happen. But, I think the Bears are that team this year. It's like they just keep finding ways to win, just crazy ways to win, but they keep winning, And
those two teams almost did like a Freaky Friday switch last year where that Hail Mary happens. You would have thought the Bears were the team that might pull it off where they just pull it out of their ass every week. Now it's them this year, and it was the Commanders last year. So I agree with you. You're a man of your word, giving that guy your tickets. He was probably at the Hard Rock Cafe with their takeover the night before they got 50 on their head of the NFC Championship.
Oh, that was great.
Hey,
it was great.
We tried to warn him.
No.
All right. Before we get you out of here, give me 20, 30 seconds how you see this game going. How you just normal game flow. What you really think.
I think the Cowboys are going to get off to I think it's going to be a little shaky probably the first drive, but I think they get off to a good start. I think they play with a lead. I think they keep the lead. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think it's going to be a lower scoring game, 24-17, could be 24-20. It's going to be a tight game, but I think the Cowboys win. I think the Cowboys are at home. I think their offense is just going so much better, and I think the defense is there, and I'm never one for inspiration, but maybe what happened sometimes that galvanizes and that just kind of gets a team just thinking bigger, and maybe that is, but they just seem like they've got some good mojo going. So I do think they win a close game, low scoring, and it'll be a dogfight.
I think so too. It's funny you bring up the good mojo because I've heard from multiple Eagles reporters, if you go in their locker room, mojo for the defense through the roof. They're having a great time. Everybody's in great spirits. You talk to somebody in the offense, they're miserable. They hate their job. So I don't know what you get from the Eagles on Sunday. But it does feel kind of like a baseball team that's in a slump. And if they could just hear one crack of the bat where they hit a home run, it might wake everybody up. And if we get an early Saquon home run like we did against the Giants a few weeks back, I think that just alleviates so much pressure from this offense that I think they could take over. And it will just snap them out of the spell that they're in, and they could really take off and win this game. But if they are slogging early like they have been, I think the dam breaks, and we could be in some serious trouble in this game.
Yeah. So I'm going to tell the defensive coordinator that A.J. Brown bombed first play of the game. That's what you're going to try.
I think so. I think we tried it last week, and the Lions knew exactly what we were going to do because it's all anybody talks about. And we ran a play action, and we had the jumbo package in, and it looked like they tried to throw it deep, and it wasn't there. So I would not be shocked if we tried it again this week. We'll see.
It's going to be a good one, man. I'm looking forward to it, and always, like I said, man, always love being on your show. We got to do it more often, man. I do enjoy it.
Absolutely.
Watching.
Maybe we'll do a recap of this one.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me know, man.
We'll
make it happen. Make it happen.
Cool.
Got to get you live. We got to do a live show because I want a live show with all the. I want you on there with my Cowboy people. I want them being able to talk some smack, and I want your people to be able to talk some smack. Get them all fighting with each other. The chat's always the best.
Hey, have me on next week. Listen, after all this, if the Eagles offense looks good and we're 9-2 and the division's sealed up, have me on next week. I'll be that meme of the guy with the sword with the entire army coming at him. I'll take on all of Cowboys Nation if we're 9-2 after this one. Bring me on next week.
You come in Wednesday live. with us, man. We'll have a good time, man. It'll be great.
Deal. I love it. All right, Mike, awesome. Before we get you out of here, just plug where everybody can find you so that they can find that show on Wednesday if we have it, or where they can follow you on social media.
Yeah, Cowboys Cave on YouTube. Definitely hit that subscribe. Appreciate the support. Social media, it's easy. MTAG 1993 on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. I do my hype videos, always doing some content, showing love in the Cowboys Cave, making sure that these fans are hyped up. So definitely appreciate it, Aidan, and definitely look forward to a great game. I'd say good luck, but I'd be lying. I'm expecting to see, like I said, I'm expecting to see this one more time. Last time I was there, 33-13. Make it happen. Get this thing going.
Hey, keep your phone on. I'm gonna be calling you after this game. We're 9-2. Keep that phone on. I'm gonna be calling you this time.
If you still have that drunk call that I gave you after that one game, you can play it on Wednesday if you still happen to have that voicemail.
I think I do. I think Kevin has it. I think we got that voicemail somewhere. We got it for sure.
Yeah.
All right, Mike. Appreciate you coming on. Like you said, probably no good luck this week, but we'll see how it goes.
All right,
Appreciate
Take
you.
care,
We'll talk to
All right,
everybody
see you,
soon.
man.